Okay, so this is an example of a rather overly complicated squash racket. So this is where we have these main holes. We have them in a situation where we have them both in the same position, just one goes up and one is down. So which is the first one, which is the second one, I suppose, and which way do you put the string in this racket. So first I just drew like a regular way you'd have a string, just straight, and then I drew a string around it, and then I said, okay, so this is, if I want to have the cross going over, this one's going to be up and then next one's going to be down, because the other way around it just doesn't obviously work. So we've got 7 strings on each side, so then I just move them up and down, up and down, up and down, so then I figure out, right, so if we go under the first one, I'm going to go over the next one and so on. So obviously if I try to do it the other way around, it wouldn't work. So I got to just decide which way you're going to start. I like to start under the string, the first one, and then go over, and then obviously just follow that same pattern throughout all the strings. But you can see here in the middle, one goes down, the other one goes up. The next one goes down, the next one goes up. So just make sure you follow that pattern and you'll be fine. So we're starting with our main loop at the top. So we're starting here, and then we're going down, and then we're going to put one into the bottom hole and the other one into the top hole. Then you're going to run it around, and then you're going to see here, the only way you can go is down. Then you go down, and you come back up, and then when you go back around with the next loop now, where do you go? So because I've come out of the bottom one, the next one's going to go to the top one, because it's going to go around and come down to the bottom one, and then back around, and then again. So they have to alternate, so up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so now this is the next step. I've come back around, and so I went up, and then obviously you're not going to mess things up on this side because you can only go down, and then you're going to go through into the next one. Then we come back around. So on this side we're going up, down, up, down, up, down, and then through this one. And on this side I started down, so then we go down, up, down, up, down, up, and then through this one. So if you start down, on the way back in, you're going to be going down always, and you're going to be coming out at the top, and coming back down and coming out at the top. And then here I start at the top, so every time, you know, there's only one way you can go, then you go to the bottom and come back out. Then when you're coming back, make sure you go back through the top and out through the bottom, back through the top, out through the bottom, and then that's the last main there. So that's how you can make sure that you're following the right pattern. Because if you get it wrong, you're just not going to be able to weave the crosses properly then. Now, so this is what it looks like when you get all the mains done. So you can see the first 2 here, one's going down, one's going up, and then down and up and down and up and down, and then kind of neutral position at the end. And then we started this first one down, and then went up, came back down, went up, came back down, went up, and then back through this one here. So there we go. That's what that looks like when it's all in there. Look from the top, you can see that they slowly progress outwards, they slowly fan outwards. So should be okay then to weave the cross now. Okay, so we have the first 2 crosses weaved, but a new problem arose because the guy that did this before me, well, first of all, he misweaved 2 of these, and that was one of the problems here. The other thing is he tied it off at the wrong side. He tied it off here, so I sort of marked that hole as a tie off, where in fact it's only this hole here that's big enough. So now I have a problem. You can see that's quite a big hole. It's very easy to get a string through there. Come on, focus. Very easy to get a string through here. Whereas now I'm stuck with my short side on the other side. So this hole here is much smaller, and the string that I'm using is very heavily textured. so it's very difficult to put through this hole here. It's soft, very textured, very high friction, so it's going to be a nightmare getting it through. You see, so you really need to know what you're doing before you start. And some of these squash rackets can be very difficult to get specifications and patterns online. In fact, there was nothing for this particular racket. Nothing about this sort of pattern either, so these can be a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. Right, okay, thank God I managed to get through by essentially cutting the string in half. It's kind of like a ropey thing. And then I got a few strands and I was able to put them through and then grab it by these tiny little strands and then push it through. But you can see it's like rope type texture. So thank God, but the trouble is probably can look forward to the same problem down on top of the racket. This hole probably here, they have marked for a tie off. Well, actually, might be okay. We'll see. We'll see. Probably a bigger one on this side. But anywho, phew, got it through. Thank God. Now, as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm pre-weaving. So I weave one ahead before I tension it, because the string is like sandpaper, and the less sort of cross tension that you have, the better, and the easier you can put it through, and the easier it is to weave as well, obviously, for obvious reasons. But definitely want to do that when you got strings tight like that. You always want to do that anyway, but with this string you definitely want to do it. Now, so here at the top we have a few kind of holes that are blocked. So we have on this side, we're coming out off the hole here and it's blocked, and then you're going in through a blocked hole, and then we're coming out on this side again through a blocked hole. So we have to go in through a blocked hole as well. Can't see that very well, but just here. So there's a blocked hole, and then we'll be coming out through this one blocked. But they're not that bad. You can get through them. All you need to do is just cut the string at an angle, like so, and you'll be fine. Just make sure you cut at a very sharp angle, and you'll get through that fine. Okay, now after a few trials and tribulations, we got this racket strung. Looks nice. The trickiest part was this part here, and then getting this knot, the string through here, this knot, that was a bit tricky as well. And then on top here we had a few blocked holes, but they were very easy actually to get through. Just had to cut the string at an angle, and that was it. I suppose the key thing here, just to make sure you remember. So one up, one down. So the right side I did up, started with the up, and the left side I started with the down. And then every time you come back, you go down and back up, and down and back up. And then here I was going up and down and up and down and up and down, and all the way through. So long as you do that right, you're okay. And then the first cross string, obviously because of all the tension here, the string is going up and down, it's kind of tricky to get through. And then the second was a little bit tricky as well, and then it gets easy. Then the rest of them are quite easy to do. So there we go, got it done at the end.